Hey, yo, welcome back to the Sporting160EN podcast, episode 144. We are so close to that 150 mark and soon 160 for obvious reasons. But today is a two-man booth, and joining us as always is Chris. How you doing today, man?
I am doing great. We have a lot of shit to talk about today, so let's just get right into it.
Yep, and I'm your host, as always, Sam Fonseca. Now, we haven't done a podcast in, I think, exactly 2 weeks. So, firstly, apologies for us. We have different schedules and everything, different time zones. It's a lot more difficult to prepare. But on the bright side, we've got an absolute bomb of an episode because we've got so many things to get through. We missed 4 games, which I'll get up on my screen shortly. But we'll start off with
That might be a new record, to be honest. The previous record I think was probably 3, but 4 is a lot.
Well, it was those extra Taça de Portugal and the
Extra games squeezed in there,
League
yeah.
one. Just trying to get the right one. So the oldest game of the lot is Sporting vs Porto. You can see the lineups here. Adani
Sorry
goal.
for making you remember this. Also, tough
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah, definitely not a memorable one. But we've got Adani goal, Inacio Coates, Neto, Matheus Reis, Porro, Ugarte, Matheus Nuno Santos, Sarabia, Paulinho. Goals from Sarabia, which was an absolute banger, and goals from Porto from Ivan Nilsson and Taremi. Chris, what were your overall thoughts on the game? And just before you go, I'm just going to tie in with one of the Twitter questions from Nuno. He says, in the cup game, did you think that after we scored, we kind of gave up, or more so let up, and that's what let them turn it around on us? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much exactly what happened. We got you could call it lucky, you could call it skill, you could call it lucky in the sense that the free kick was retaken because the flare was on the field still, and then he hit a banger when the first free kick was saved. Obviously, it was a great shot. But yeah, we took our chance. Well, the first half was very very just battling, not too many clear cut chances really. If anything, we had one and they didn't have any. But yeah, after the goal, we packed it in, and we gave away the PK like 5-10 minutes later, and then after the PK they scored like almost immediately after that, cut us up on a counterattack, and after that we were in big trouble, and we still are because the away goals rule is still in effect until next season. So I'd say the most charitable result here would have been like 3-2. Because we each probably had one more clear-cut chance down the stretch. Porto probably had a little bit more, but Coates, I think, had a great – Marchesi made a great save on a Coates header right at the end. There's potentially another PK in there on Pepe, and another clear-cut chance as well for Taremi. Maybe it's 3-2, 4-2. We would still have a mountain to climb in that scenario as well. Yeah, I didn't think the last – or at least after the goal, 55 minutes, the last 30 minutes was not good enough here.
Yeah, I agree. And looking at the goal point analysis, I agree with them saying there wasn't one like standout player for either side. I thought it was I know it was 3 goals, but it was a pretty boring game, all things considered, especially considering the drama from the last one before that with all the sort of aggression and violence. But like you mentioned, the flares were in full force, mostly at Dan's side of the goal. But I think their last goal was just fantastic build-up play from them, and it was a great counter-attack, and it was one that you have to just hold your hands up and be like, it's really no one's fault. It was just, Adan's on the yellow card and he comes out, but by that point it's like if he commits, then he's going to get a red card and they're going to get either a penalty if it's inside the box or free kick, obviously. But I think overall, just Ivan Nilsson, I think he's a great player. And I said this when a podcast after Luis Diaz left for Liverpool, that they're not as like down as we think they are, because Ivan Nilsson is just such a good player. And I think, like I said, it was a pretty boring game, all things considered. I think the penalty call was, at the time, maybe I thought it wasn't, but looking back, I would say so. I thought the referee had a
cope. People that say it's not, or that say it's an elbow and it's a foul, it's cope. Porto recklessly goes into him. He's obviously looking to go down. Like, no doubt about it, he's looking to go down for sure. But don't plow into the back of him and give him even more of a reason to go down, because he's just
I think
waiting to see you. He's
Porto
waiting to feel
knows
like,
as well. That's why he's going down and holding his head, and he realizes he fucks up. So he's like, "Oh shit, let me
yep,
do the age-old trick of me pretending to be hurt as well, and see where that gets me."
didn't work.
Yeah,
Didn't work this time. Not gonna. It's against Porto this season. I don't think that's gonna happen.
yeah. Like, I remember a few people on Twitter, because it was a few weeks ago now, but like people were saying, "Oh, how can you say it's not a foul? Clear gets an elbow in the face." You're like, "Well, no, he doesn't." Like, he makes the contact first, and like when the guy falls, he falls down like that, so he like swings his arm back. But it's definitely not a foul to us. But like, is it a soft penalty? Yeah. Is it still a penalty? The answer is yes as well, unfortunately. But
He called it. He pointed right to the spot. So now we need a VAR to overturn it. Not gonna happen.
yeah, definitely. Did you have a stand-up performer from this match? I know
No.
I forgot to mention. Sorry, that Edwards and Slimani came on for a pretty awful coming, especially Edwards. I remember seeing the goal point stat. It was like 0 passes completed, 0 dribbles completed,
Or
0 shots.
Slimani. This is the game where Slimani had like 4 turnovers, right?
He came on and gave the ball away.
Oh,
This was like his second or third appearance.
yeah. This was a really bad Slimani cameo, and actually a really bad Edwards cameo as well. But they're both rounded into form in this 4-game span that we're going to talk about. So
I can't remember if it was this game or the last Porto game, but like Slimani put a bit of an innocent through on goal from just like a simple pass back to the defense, and it just went through everyone.
Oh yeah, right after coming in, right?
Yeah, that was it. I can't remember if that was this game or the actual league game, but
Yeah, I'm actually glad that I forget this game. It's tough. I'll have to remember it in like a month when we play the second leg, but it's best to just forget about it.
It's crazy how like spaced it is. Just like, oh yeah, this one's in February or March. I think it was February. No,
I think it was late February, potentially early March.
Just because, yeah, and then it's like the next game is in like May or like April. It's like, come on, like no one's gonna remember that. But yeah, for me, I don't really. I genuinely
we need to win
remember.
by 2. We need to win by 2. So
yeah,
strange
things have happened.
Stranger things have happened. It's not over, obviously, but mountain to climb for sure.
Definitely, and then so the good thing about it is, so Porto obviously are 1-0 down to Lyon in Europa. They could always turn that around, and it's like Benfica. Congratulations to them, by the way, getting into quarterfinals.
Definitely rooting for Porto to turn their result around.
Exactly, you can see both Portuguese teams going pretty far, which also helps coefficient, but also helps Sporting's chances in gaining ground on Porto and making sure Benfica lose more ground on us. So,
agreed.
So yeah, definitely a mountain to climb, and I agree with Juicebox. I'm sick of Porto, especially of playing them. It feels like we've played them like 4 times, even though we've only played them twice.
We did play them a bunch of times in a row.
Yeah,
and didn't really get the best of them any of the times.
I just know in the league it's just going to be a draw because it always is. Well, obviously there's no league games anymore, but like anytime you come into Porto, it's like, okay, that's going to be a point. Even though in the first game where Luis Diaz saved them, we should have won, but should have, would have, didn't happen.
Mm-hmm. A lot of shoulda wouldas in these types of games, I feel like.
Yeah, most definitely. And I'm inclined to agree with Juicebox again, saying, and their fan base.
They're not going anywhere.
Most definitely. Now, the game was it a rocker, right? Or is it Man City?
Depends. Do you want to talk about all the City thing now, or do you want to do a Ruka first, and then we can do the City? Because technically, I think the City happened next, but we can just skip to a Ruka and then go back to City.
No, let's do it in order. Let's go.
Right.
Just see if I've got the right tab. Cool. So Sporting Man City 0-0. You can see the team there: Adan, Coates, Neto, Inacio, Tabata, Ugarte, Matheus Reis, Pedro Porro, Sarabia, Paulinho, and Slimani. Tabata playing in the sort of Matheus Nunes role. Matheus Nunes didn't play. I believe he wasn't even in the actual squad. But this is another game where we have the dynamic duo of Slimani and Paulinho. And I was there, and we did get a question from Nuno to just speak about my walk us through and tell me about the experience. Not the match, but the experience. So we started off by going to a place called Shambles Square, which is all where the Sporting fans would meet outside a pub, which I'm not gonna lie, probably made an absolute killing on drinks. They were sending them like.
It looked familiar, and then I saw that it was like where all the visiting fans typically go, right? So
Yeah,
Every
it was like,
weekend, if someone's coming in there, basically, right? Every other weekend, at least.
well, yeah, and it was like it was 4.50 a pint, and I know there was loads being thrown, and like, so I know they definitely did make
Is
a
four
massive
fifty
profit.
a good price, a high price, mid? What's
It's
the
like it's mid, I would say. Like
All
you
right.
can definitely get more expensive, but like I don't know what the pint prices are in Manchester, but like where I live, it's probably like about there. So it's like okay, it's decent price, but it's not too expensive. But they didn't tell me what beer it was, and it wasn't very nice beer. I think it was like craft beer, which I'm not really a fan of. But
What
in the
how did you get there? Train?
so
Bus?
we drove down.
Drove?
So because we were going to go get the train, but there were no trains back until like 7 in the morning, and my brother, who I went with, had work the next day, so we just drove down. So we left. So we left Stevenage, where I live, about 11 or 12, and we got to Man City, well, Manchester, should I say, around sort of 3. So it was about 3.5 hour drive it took, but I think it definitely was better than getting the train. There was option to get like a bus from a nuclear in London, but even so, there were no trains back from the bus, so from the place in London.
Is
So
Manchester like that big? Like the city itself
yeah, it's a big city.
is big? Okay.
Yeah, I think London is the biggest, and it's like Birmingham. I think I could be totally wrong. Birmingham, Manchester, somewhere like that. But yeah, we got there, and I saw a lot of friends of the show. I saw Irish Sam, who's spoke to us before, and I believe Danny's met him in Lisbon as well. I saw Kevin and Diogo, who are friends of mine as well, and friends of the show. Diogo was once in our space, and Kevin, we go quite far back with him. I didn't really meet anyone else from what I could see. I saw people I know, but I didn't go up to them. But got to the stadium after a few drinks, and the sniffer dog came and sniffed me. I had two different ones sniff me. One of them was like he said like, yeah, go on. He didn't really care. Like the
They
guy,
sniffing everybody, or what? What's the deal here?
they just had them at the gates, and if they'd go forward to sniff someone, they would like take them out. So the first dog came up to me and sniffed me, and the guy didn't care, just like going through. The second dog sniffed me, and the police officer was such a prick. Like honestly, like I'm not even just saying, because I know they've got a job to do and everything. And if they get caught, like if we get caught with drugs, whatever, it's against the law, fine. But like he was like, do you have any drugs or pyrotechnics in your bag? Because I bought like a little sort of, I guess, man bag, because I had my portable charger in there, so I kept the tickets as well, so I didn't lose them. And
Yeah.
I was like, no, I've never done drugs in my life, which is a fact, and I don't have any pyrotechnics. And as I said that, he was like, are you going to let me finish? I was like, you just asked me a question. I was answering the question, and then he just repeats the same question, and then he goes, we have
Still
an open.
no.
Yeah, I was like, well, no, because we have an open door policy. So if you give me the drugs you have or the pyrotechnics you have, you can still go in. It's like, don't have anything. It was like, all right, my steward's going to come search you. And the steward took me to the side. And literally, the first thing he said was, don't worry about him. He's a twat. And I was like, okay, fair enough. But yeah, I was searched, and believe it or not, no drugs or pyrotechnics, just my iPhone charger tickets. Yeah, so that was stressful, but it was just like, I knew I didn't have anything. So it was fine at the end of the day. But yeah, we got into the game at around, I think we got into the stadium about 7, so just an hour before kickoff, and had like a sausage roll or something. Can't remember what it actually was, but it was like some little snack thing. And that was it really.
Scran or no scran?
No scran. It was
No
very
scran.
burnt, and that was overpriced, because that was in the actual stadium. I think it was like, for 3 of them we paid like £9, which is crazy for like 3 sausage rolls. But I'm just trying to
They had beers in the stadium though, it looked like, or no?
Yeah, but you just couldn't bring them into the like where you were sitting.
Okay, but I don't. In Portugal, they don't even sell beer in the stadium, or do they? It's only the 0-0.
No, they sell the non-alcoholic. But I was speaking to my friend who went to a West Ham away game, well, not away game, home game, but like a Europa League, and he said they weren't serving beer, even like at the turnstiles or even in sort of fan area.
So I guess it depends on the club. At least they have the choice, I guess, and I guess Man City, they choose to tamer fan base, so they feel better about selling it, I guess.
but you say a fan base, they were giving it to us all game, like they were saying.
Oh yeah.
One of the chances, you're just a shit Benfica, which was a good one. Um, 5-0 was a lot. Chanted a lot. I'm trying to think what we chanted Cristiano Ronaldo, which I know I didn't really get, but I joined in anyway. I know why they said it, but it was just like he's a bit washed now, isn't he? So it's like
he's
like
not really giving it. He's not really giving it to him this year.
If United were top and like they beat City, you'd be like, yeah, that's a fair chance. But it's just like, well, right now they're not doing very good. But for me, it was just like, yeah, they were on good form. The City fans, I'll give them to that. And like even when we were walking back, so we walked back to where the car park was. We didn't park near the stadium. We parked on like some other car park down the road. And like there were City fans talking to me, my dad and my brother. Like they were really respectful. Like there was one twat behind us that just can't. He must have like Googled the word 5 in Portuguese and just started saying cinco over and over again. Just like, but like screaming it. And I was just like, mate, I don't really care. But yeah, they were nice fans, and it was good to have that sort of like back and forth.
There was some shithousery going on. I mean, Scott Carson entered the game, bro. The game was some shithousery as well. Had a chance to win it, bro. What was going through your head as Paulinho isolates himself with Scott 1-on-1 versus Scott Carson with 10 minutes left?
So there was no one to my left. There was 2 seats to my left empty, and a guy on the end row, and right is where my family were. But like I remember getting up because I saw him through, and I literally, it feels like slow motion, but I was like, all we have to do is put it left or right, and he put it straight at him, and like all the 40 fans were convinced it was a goal, and just like that I still can't believe he missed that.
Yeah, I mean, that was the chance, bro. That was the chance. That would have been limbs, bro. Limbs in the away end.
Oh, when they scored their goal as offside. I mean, we celebrated that like we scored, like when it was given offside.
Yeah. I mean, bro, let's be fair, they got lucky with the VAR in the first leg. I mean, it was onside, but like they're very fortunate, and so we got the benefit of the doubt in this one, right? So nice. Too little, too late, but a nice token.
Yeah, definitely. But like the Sporting fans were great. Like they were always loud, and luckily, actually, I was sat left, like literally a few rows down from me was Irish Sam. So I spoke to him during the game as well, and he had his he was with a guy called Pedro, and they had their like flag with Sporting and Celtic on it, which was a nice touch. I did like the flag. And Kevin and Diogo were right in front of me. Like a few
were you in the
down.
first level or the second level?
The second level. So we I mean, it was bad seats in terms of atmosphere, but like it was good seats to watch the game because.
So the more partying was going on in the lower part, and then the second part was smaller, right?
Yeah. Well,
and then there was a third level too, with even like just a little bit of people, right?
Oh, was there? I didn't know that. No.
Okay, so it was just the 2 levels then, the 2 sections.
We were like right at the top of the second section.
Got it.
Like really high up, but like I could see everything. But it was just
yeah.
I feel like
it was sold out, like in all the otother seats, right? All the Man City seats were packed in.
Yeah, it didn't look that way, but then like 5 minutes before the game started, they must have had like some delay, I think, and then they all came flying in. But yeah, anyone who hasn't been to a Sporting away game, even if like, you know, you want to go to somewhere, let's say next year if you get Europe, you want to go to like, I don't know, in Italy or Germany, wherever, I really recommend it, especially, you know, coming out of I know we're still in a pandemic, but coming out of those restrictions, you know, we've got more time and more chance to do everything. If you do get the chance, you know, takes tough work, go there. You won't regret it. It was great vibes. The only thing would be better if we won, but like, and I mean, I took a 0-0. We didn't beat.
It's our second 0-0 win. Second 0-0 win away in England.
Yeah, exactly. So like, I mean, we should have beaten Arsenal, I reckon. Although that was the really bad 2018 team with like. That wasn't even with like Balassi. That was 1 year before. I can't even remember who was in that team. Like Diaby and
Nani was in it.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Upside down patch. Nani was in it.
Yeah. was that the game you had the upside down patch?
I don't even know if that was that game, but it was definitely that like era.
But like in terms of this game, from what I saw, Neto was quality. Like I thought he was fantastic.
He's been balling a little bit recently. Yeah.
And I think like Marcus Edwards, I have to give a special shout out to him. I said it on Twitter like after the game, like he came on and wanted to get all 6 for us. It's such a spark, and like you could tell he just wanted to wanted to score, get.
We had a really good like 20 minutes ish, in the second half there, where it's like I really thought we could score, bro.
Well, it was that Paulinho one. There was one that Slimani had from Mark Edwards as well, which didn't go too well. I thought Tabata played okay in the 8 role, like compared to Matheus Nunes. But like, I don't know. I mean, I think
City was at 70%. They were kind of mailing it in.
Yeah, I mean that's still a good team they had out.
For sure.
One note I want to speak on as well was when the whole team were being announced for City, we booed everyone apart from Zinchenko. So good on Sporting fans there. But like, yeah, the squad cast I think was a bit disrespectful. I thought, but like, I'm not gonna lie. I look at Man City and even before this game, I still think that they're the favourites to win. I know there's still some good teams in there, but I think this year is definitely the year that I reckon they could do it. And after speaking to David on the Blue Moon, they don't even seem that bothered, to be honest. Like if they win it or not, they're just like, okay, league's priority, Champions League is like something else to them, which is crazy to think about. But
I know the league race has actually gotten a lot tighter for them.
yeah, they drew to Crystal Palace and Liverpool just beat Arsenal before we've gone live.
So they're up by 1 point.
Yeah, so
man, they blew it like a 9-point lead. Good for them.
We need that to happen to Porto next, and then we'll be happy. But I'm just trying to think. I can't really think of anything else apart from the fans are great, and I think the Sporting fans and staff appreciated the support they got. I think on backstage Sporting as well, you can definitely see more of it than what you'd see in just like the game. But I think we did get a lot of praise from like English commentators as well. I mean, you were watching it at home on the TV, so I don't know what was said.
I could hear it.
A few people.
I could hear them.
I know BT Sport was saying that they were surprised. Like I think the quote was 5-0 down, and they're still acting like they're 5-0 up or something. I can't remember the exact quote, but like, no, it's good to see. I think, like, especially there was that whole thing about should we cheer when we lost 5-0? Should we boo? Should we do nothing? But like, I mean, I like it. I like the cheers. I know you. I think you had a bit of a different opinion. Like,
no, I mean on the road, 0-0 new game. I mean, they definitely. I feel like backing them on the road is definitely a different situation than at home clapping like after a 5-0. I mean, shambolic performance really.
Yeah.
And looking back on some of those other Ajax performances in light of the Benfica, result is like leaves a bit of a sour taste in your mouth,
Yeah, I agree, but I also think if we had just started Matheus Reis at the left back instead of Vinagre that game, would we be in a different position right now? Would we?
Well, by the way, wasn't even on the bench for the last game.
Oh, where is he gone? He's
disappeared again. Dude, that's a fucked up situation, man. Well, it's a fucked up situation for him to be in, too, to be honest.
Well, it's definitely like Matheus Reis is first choice, 100%, and it's like Nuno Santos, and then it's just like, is Vinagre third option? 10 million on the third option. Oh yeah, Nazinho. I'm surprised he won't play might try and play, I don't know, like Marcus Edwards left wing back or like some sort of centre back and left back.
Dude, against like Porto, we're gonna have to go full attacking. So maybe it's like they'll probably just put like Nuno Santos there, for the more attacking mode.
Yeah, definitely. But I think that's everything on the City game. If we're giving man of the matches, I'll give mine to Neto. I think. I'll hear my Edwards, but I'll go Neto.
I will give mine to Dan.
Okay, that's fair.
Couple saves, couple center.
Cool.
No, kept the clean sheet.
Speaking of Ruben Vinagre, Chris, this game saw the return of starting Ruben Vinagre.
Mm-hmm.
Dan Quartes, Matheus Reis at centre back this time. Inacio is Guy Vinagre, Matheus Nunes, Esugo, which was, I mean, like a weird start, especially because
this is a bit of a wild one, yeah.
Rabia, Nuno Santos, and Slimani bagging the 2 goals, which my mentions definitely let me hear about when it happened. But Chris, what are your thoughts? Definitely a good Slimani game. Esugo starting, Vinagre starting. but I'm looking at it. Vinagre got the third worst rating, so I mean, not the worst.
He was all right. He wasn't that good. Basically, the first half of this game was pretty underwhelming. I thought that the Sarabia goal, or I don't know whose goal it was. I think Sarabia ended up playing a cross, but it got ruled out for offside by like 10 centimeters. It's really close. It's pretty sus. I don't know how I would have if I would have ruled that one out, but we're unlucky not to go into the first half 0-0. Or we're unlucky to go in 1-0 at half, right? Because we did put it in the back of the net. But other than that, not too many chances created in the first half. Second half, though, right at the start of the second half, Slimani scored his best goal that he scored for us since his return, fadeaway header from like 12 yards out. Really, really, really nice header. And then he scored a tap in off of Nunesen's cross like 10 minutes after that, and like those like 15 minutes right there, and the two Slimani finishes basically put the game away. After that, they had like one chance off a free kick, like a header, and made a nice save. That was pretty much it. It was chill after that. Slimani actually had a chance to score a hat trick. Another cross came in, and he like kind of slipped a little bit. He was like 6 yards out. Honestly, could have scored a third there and had a hat trick. But a brace, he finished his chances, man. He has 4 shots on target since returning, 4 goals.
Yeah, I mean the way I see this game, right, is that Ruben Amorim massively underestimated Aroca in defending, because you can see there 0.2 xg, but like I'm sorry, if you start Esugo, Asgaio, and Vinagre in one game,
Esugo actually played pretty well in the first half, I thought.
He did. He reminds me, a lot of people saying this, of like a prime William Carvalho in terms of like his like dictativeness of the game, like the switching. He's massive as well. The size of his thighs. He's only 16 or 17 now.
Yeah.
The 16 when the game was playing. His thighs are huge, and it's like, I mean, no disrespect to him, but like if you're going to play him in that game, like it means you're going to underestimate Aroca. Like I said, Ugarte was on the bench. Like even Tabata, who played in the 8 against City, could play there. But like as soon as we brought on the starters, which was at half time, Ugarte, Paulinho, and Porro all came on. That's when Porro got the assist for the Slimani goal. The whole game changed as soon as Porro and those 3 really, but Porro definitely changed the game. And Ugarte always has good cameos off the bench, I feel like. But one thing we forgot to mention was the return of Alan Ruiz, who
should have actually been sent off, to be honest.
I disagree slightly. I think it was a yellow. I don't think it was bad enough for a red. I think it wasn't reckless enough to be a red. I feel like he goes for the ball, and I think you can sort of give him the benefit of the doubt. But like, I didn't think he played that bad for them, to be fair. Like, I mean,
what a journey he's been through to end up back at Alvalade again.
Is his brother at Aroca as well? Because I know he had the clause in his contract, so like, oh, if I sign, you sign him too.
I don't know if he's still working with that clause or not.
You gotta respect it. Family first, I guess. But like, yeah, he got sent off for an attack on Porro originally. VAR looked at it for once. I do not remember the last time VAR looked at a decision for a red card. Honestly, I cannot remember the last time, especially in Portugal, that's happened in a game. But like, I think it's fair to give him the yellow card. But Chris, man of the match, who you giving it to?
Got to give it to the man with the brace, super slim, who, guys, I hate to say it, is, if he plays another 90 minutes, is going to be approaching Dango Bragança's season minutes total for Liga B win, which is, if you think about it, a gut punch, man. All these 17-minute cameos. My man's he's 500 minutes. Slimani's already at like 330, or something like that. And it's like, I was just, when I was just looking at random shit this week, I saw that and I was like, good God. But good shit, Slim.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's between Slim and Ugarte and Porro, but I will give it to Slimani. As you know, always been a Slimani enjoyer. Never said a bad word about him. Never happened. But no,
He's finishing his chances on target with a 100% rate. I'll be a Slimani enjoyer as well.
In all fairness, I've always said, and you're a witness here, I've always said, if he proves me wrong, he's prove me wrong, and I'm happy to admit it. And at the moment, he is. So I'll put my hands up and say, Slimani's proven me wrong. Marcus Edwards as well. Same with him. Well, okay. The thing about Marcus,
I didn't really doubt Marcus's quality. I just kind of was doubting what the plan was to use him at first.
Exactly. That's what I was saying.
He has no choice to play him, right? He's been too good.
I was saying this the other day. If Pot doesn't get injured, he's still not getting minutes, because the only reason he's getting minutes is one, because Tabata was suspended, quotes, and then Pot obviously gets injured and doesn't play, and then when Marcus Edwards plays, he looks good. And I still don't think without him getting injured, there is you can see what the plan was, and that's to sort of wait till next season to utilize him. But like, if you're going to spend, was it 7.5 or 8 million on a player, especially a player like him, he's going to have to start, like, for me anyway. But yeah, Slimani, it's proving me wrong. I'll put my hands up. Only way is up, hopefully. And I mean, what we'll get into the other game now. But what are your thoughts on the dynamic duo of Paulinho on the wing and Slimani up front? Do you like it, or is it just like, is it going to be caught out?
I think it's working for now. I don't think it's a long-term strategy, though. And I think it's definitely better to. I mean, all we have is basically playing Portuguese league, all teams, not against, maybe not against Porto, but at the same time, like, if they're both like in form-ish, Pot's still. I mean, depends if like Pot's in form, I guess, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Which he really hasn't been in a couple months now.
Yeah. The team we've got for this one is Adan, Neto, Quartas, Vidal, Pedro Porro, Matheus Reis, Matheus Nunes, Ugarte, Slimani, and Paulinho, and Marcus Edwards. Ruben Angre disappears again, even though he played like 60 minutes of the last game. Correct me if I'm wrong. Or was he pulled at half time? Vinagre in Morocco. Was he pulled at half time?
If it wasn't half, it was shortly after.
Yeah, so he disappeared again, not even in the team sheet.
Not even in the team sheet, yeah. Weird.
But yeah, 2 goals, one from Slimani, one from Paulinho, the dynamic duo. Chris, what were your overall thoughts on this game and the thoughts on the goals as well?
I thought that Porro and Edwards in the first half were absolutely ridiculous. Porro was torching their left back so many times, getting great balls in, creating chances, combining with Edwards. Edwards was taking it himself. Often Edwards, like, it would be Porro combines with Edwards and gets it back, or Porro beats the guy down, cuts it into Edwards, who then, continues to play. And then eventually resulted in the Paulinho goal, which was, Porro Edwards combining quickly. Great touch and move, and then a ridiculous ball right to Paulinho's foot. Great finish. And what was the other goal?
It was another cross into.
Oh, it was the Slimani header. It was off
the corner kick. Header. Yeah.
Corner kick, pops out, gets worked back around to Edwards. Edwards crosses it in again. Great ball. Slimani heads in from like 3. Stays on side. Yeah, hell yeah, bro. I mean, we took our chances and killed this game quickly, because this is the place that we've dropped points 3 of the last 4 seasons. So not easy. The longer that we go in these types of environments without scoring, right, the harder it gets. So set piece, converted a goal, and then great link-up play. Great goal. I think we actually deserved to be 2 up in the first half. And then the second half just kind of went to bed a little bit. And it was fine, though.
Yeah, so Pot came out from injury, coming off the bench, and really didn't do much. I thought in the game, obviously Edwards was fantastic. Same with Pedro Porro, who got goal points man of the match. Imani, say what we want about the header. I mean, he has to get in that position to score.
It's a nice header. It's a nice header. He puts it right on the ground. He leaves the keeper with no chance.
And it's definitely some of the headers that I've seen Paulinho have and hit over the bar, hit the post, or aim straight at the keeper. So Slimani's heading is definitely his best asset, I think, and it always has been, even when he was here before. Him in the air is like almost unstoppable. But the draw of Paulinho and Slimani, I'm still not really sold on, because it means either keeping Edwards on the bench, keeping Pot on the bench, or keeping Sarabia on the bench. Sarabia is undroppable in my opinion. So it's just dependent on the other three who you're dropping. Is it Paulinho?
He was out
Slimani,
due to
Edwards?
suspension, so it worked out, right? In this game.
Who, Sarabia?
Or the last game. No, the last game he was.
Yeah, he was
He
out
subbed in
special
this
for
one.
Morocco.
Yeah.
So for me personally, I don't know, because I love Paulinho, but I feel like Slimani at the moment suits Amorim's cross ball better, and I think it's showed in the last few games. So if I, with a pain in my chest, I would drop Paulinho. I genuinely would keep Pot on the bench as well and have Edwards, Sarabia, but I know he's not going to do it. I know
he's not going to do that. That would be, actually, I would agree with that, but he's not going to do that.
Next game it's Guimaraes, I guarantee it's going to be Pot, Sarabia, and Paulinho again, or Slimani. That's the only one I can see changing. But I think
he might. I think he's actually probably more willing to drop Slimani, unfortunately, rather than Paulinho.
I think so, but get 3 goals in the last 2. If he drops it,
how can he drop him? I think he has to probably roll with Paulinho and Slimani next week. Who's the third then?
I don't know. Would he give Edwards a start against his old club? Is what I'm thinking.
True.
But in a
big
game,
sub him in. You could always sub him in, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like
no matter what. Yeah.
But he loves Pot as well, and Pot's been out for I think 3 weeks now. So I think
I know he's got to get back eventually, though, right?
I think I can see him running the bench one more time for one more game. But this next game is going to be difficult as well for us, because we've got to do all the catching up. Like, we cannot afford to drop any more points, and
no, we really have to be perfect.
Just like what happened in the Moreirense game, like I can see it happening again. Obviously, I hope it doesn't. But I mean, some of these games, especially one against Morocco, the first half we were just asleep, and then whatever Amorim said at half time was just to sort of wake them up was it worked. But like, we can't be having that in games against like the last games we have. I believe we have Guimaraes, we have Benfica again. We have we have Benfica again. Do we have Braga again, or is that a no?
I don't think so.
Let me get my phone up. I remember looking at it the other day. I think we got Bovista. I know we definitely got Bovista, Benfica,
Portimonense, Gil Vicente.
Yeah,
tough. Tondela.
Gil Vicente has been quality recently. We've been on a great stretch of form.
Santa Clara.
Yeah, so last game of the season, Santa Clara. So I'll go in reverse order. Santa Clara, Portimonense, Gil Vicente, Bovista, Benfica, Tondela, Passos Ferreira. So the next 2 games against Guimaraes and Passos, and then Tondela, then Benfica, which is a very tough schedule. And then I believe in between the Tondela and Benfica game, we've got Porto, and between after Guimaraes match is an international break. So I think Fernando Santos lists his team tomorrow. I'm hoping he doesn't take Inacio with him in case he gets injured. Paulinho as well, I don't want to see going. I'm trying to think.
Paulinho is probably going to go, but maybe not unless he takes Porto midfielders. Unless he takes like Vitinha and Vieira over him or something,
Over Paulinho or Paulinho, did you say?
I'm talking Paulinho.
Oh, I thought you said Paulinho. I was like, oh, no way he's getting in. Yeah, I can see Matheus Nunes getting in again, I think.
True.
But I think Ruben Neves has been quality for Wolves as well, so I think he has to go. I know for a fact Matinho, William Carvalho, and Danilo are going. So it's pretty much
that's probably the mid right there.
Yeah,
I don't think Pot's not going to go.
Vitinha should go. I really like Vitinha.
He should, but he won't probably.
I think he will. He'll be like what Rafa was when he just comes off the bench and brings on someone that he needs to.
Okay.
But like, I think the only Sporting players I can see is Matheus Nunes, Paulinho, and Inacio. I can't really think of anyone else that goes up there.
You might have to do with Inacio just because of by he's forced into it because Diaz is hurt, Pep's suspended, right?
Yeah, I think Pep is also injured. He had a clash of heads with someone at the last Porto game against Tondela.
Neto.
Yeah, it could be because it just for that time where it just was.
go.
It was
Let's
Neto, even though
go.
he'd like play like 5 minutes, and they're like, "Fuck it, let's bring Neto instead of
Dude,
like
he
Domingos
starts in the
Duarte,
playoff.
Paulo Oliveira, Diego Lake, like all of these players who played loads." And like, "Fuck it, Neto." But that was over in Nasio as well. Nasio was right there.
Savage.
But yeah, in terms of this game, who would you give your man of the match to?
It's between Porto and Edwards. Sport TV gave it to Edwards. Had a weird little interview, and then I'll give it to Porto.
I'm gonna give mine to Edwards, but just a note on that interview. He just looks. I feel so sorry for him. He looks so confused because, fair enough to the guy for attempting speaking English, but like he just
didn't
wasn't
really
a very
do that good of a job. Yeah, don't they have someone that speaks English better? Like, geez,
When
a lot of people speak
When
English.
Dost was here, they interviewed him fine, and like he was good, but like. Edwards just repeated the same thing as he said the first time because he didn't understand the second question. So he was like, "Yeah, good win. The team is good."
The second question wasn't even a question; it was just a statement, which he then repeated back to him.
Yeah, wasn't it just like this was a must-win game? It's like, well, aren't all games must-win? That's I never understand that question.
It was so dumb. And then he's like, "Thank you," and then it just ends. It was like 30 seconds.
There's a video that I remember back in the day. Chris Paul gets interviewed by someone. I think it's Game 7 or Game 6, and the reporter goes in, "Do you want to win Game 6?" And he's like, "What do you want me to answer to that question?" It's just like what Edwards like. What do you want to answer? Oh no, I wasn't really a must-win. I don't want a title race or anything, but yeah, that was shambolic interviewing. And just one more note, I just want to get onto, and this actually went semi-viral. I'm not going to say totally viral.
Semi-viral.
I feel like you're not sure who I'm speaking of, but I think you might when I bring it up. Boom. I mean,
oh yeah.
I feel sorry for her because she did get caught out by the cameras, and they zoomed.
She got put on blast, and then it came back to her too. They went back to her. They cut away, came back.
Yeah, so that went semi-viral. Not our tweet, but there was just like loads of memes about it, and there was a thing that was tweeted, I think maybe last Friday in the Arsenal game, and the away stand was just full of signs saying, "Smith Rowe, give me your shirt," like Saka, give me your shirt. And I quote tweeted it. I was like, "Hey, I've seen this one before," because like I didn't realize it gets that much traction outside of Portugal as well. But apparently, it's coming back. But did you see the thread of this woman on the backstage Sporting one where she tries to steal?
This isn't the first time that the blonde lady who's next to this girl crying, the mom seemingly, has been at it before, trying to get Porto's shirt and tried to steal it from another girl.
But like, I was thinking at the time, it was like if Porto sees it, like he pretty much has to give it to her. But I'd really respect it if he didn't.
The way that the camera pans from her to him, just going like this and just smiling.
He's just smiling and just turned around. It's just fantastic.
It's so funny.
But like, why is she crying? Like, that's the part I don't understand.
Try again at the next game. I mean, you've clearly been at it all season. There's always next game. There's still like 8 left. You know.
This is like stalker vibes.
Now I feel like Porto saw it. Now Porto's definitely never giving it to you because he definitely saw this now for sure. He's on Twitter very actively.
But yeah, she must have. So she was crying at the game. Must have looked at her phone and cried again because she was all over Portugal.
Monday, bro. They're schooled the next day, dude. If this is like a Saturday, maybe you get a day or two for it to die down. Nah, bro. Like it's a tough day at school the next day.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that, and I did feel bad that she did go viral. But like
Sport TV put her on blast, but also just it's the natural combination of like all of this going too far.
My favorite bit of the meme is just the kid next to her, just like looking very awkwardly. Like,
dude, I didn't even notice. I only have eyes for the fucking girl and the mom, bro. I didn't even notice there was any other people in the video.
If you just look around, you can just see it's so much awkwardness because like you can just hear this girl crying her eyes out, and everyone's just like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, great content though. Great content.
Yeah, thank you, Sport TV, for once. But that pretty much brings us to the end of the game section. Now let's get on to the juicier things and the things that we get accused of having agendas for, especially today. Just a quick note on it. That post was obviously about Alcochete. It was literally, I don't understand how you could think it's about anything else. I put it up because that was the game that, not that announcement, but the second game, the second leg is where everything just went downhill. And that was obviously what I was referring to. People like, oh, but we won the title. And it's like, and someone said,
and here's the other thing, bro. If you want to interpret the tweet literally, I mean, did it lead to the downfall of the previous admin? Like, was there not like a leadership change that resulted? If you want to just interpret it literally, which isn't even what you're saying directly, but like, yeah, something, it literally happened. So
the people are always a very pessimistic way, but it's like, well, it's not, because we had our most prized assets, like valued at like 30 million each, apart from the goalkeeper, walk out. Rafael Leão, if he stayed, he would have been worth like João Felix money, and that is a fact. And like everyone's like, oh, what downfall? It's like, yeah, I know we won the title, and I'm not saying like, obviously that's a good thing, but those 3 years before that was pain, and that was a downfall. And if you don't think that's a downfall, I've got a question. Like, what do you think a downfall was? And by the way, you can get resurrected from a downfall. It's not like just downfall and that's it. But like, anyway, that's my little rant over. But
we've had multiple downfalls in recent history.
But like, I just don't understand how people can just go and they say they don't have an agenda. It's like, what? That, like, on that tweet of all tweets, like,
so dumb.
Anyway, speaking of, while we were away, the last episode we had was candidate Nuno Sousa, who unfortunately didn't get elected. And I say unfortunately because he's a very nice guy. That's my opinion. Like, I mean, I've said that I think Varandas deserves another term. As much as I like Nuno Sousa, and he was grateful. Like, I'm really grateful for him coming on. He's a lovely guy, and off air he spoke to me, Chris and Danny, like we were friends, like we were on his level, which I think was like really, really nice to see. But I just think like he's a nice guy. But if he ran his campaign when Alcochete happened, I think he would have had a really good chance to be in there. But Varandas gets re-elected. Do you remember the official numbers, Chris? I can't remember.
Yeah, 14,000 voters. There was 25,000 people at the Aruca game and 14,000 voters. So I'm assuming most of those people who voted went to the game. But like, it's low, man. It's low. It's low turnout. Varandas got 12,000 votes, 84.6%. Nuno Sousa got 1,300 votes, roughly 9%, and Ricardo Oliveira got 415, 2.8%. Blank got 513 votes. So Ricardo Oliveira did lose to Blank. Don't forget it.
I don't even know why he was there. He followed me on Twitter, right? And I obviously extended the invitation to come on, and he ignored it, which is fine. But like, I still don't know why he was there. He was there for the vibe. He wasn't there.
He's keeping tabs on you, bro. Yeah, he was there for the vibe. The whole thing that happened, right? I don't even know if we had a pod since like Murray's like announced that like some random company like directly associated with the company that he said wasn't going to finance his plan because the other company had said like, oh, we're not involved with him. And then he's like, oh yeah, I meant this company instead. And it's just like basically a shell company of that company, bro. It's like, dude, what is any of this for? Just to lose to Blank, bro, the next day. It was a joke.
I think it was the 2016 or 17 US elections where like Harambe got like 16,000 votes of Americans. That's what it reminded me of. But like, one thing I wanted to put a note on it as well, because obviously this will be a big topic, that there were no, so you didn't get your ballot on time. Danny didn't get his ballot on time.
I'm assuming there was like at best 5% international voter ballot return rate.
Yeah,
like, at best. I'm assuming it's lower than 5%.
Yeah. So a lot of people didn't vote. The people who got theirs in England, I believe, couldn't send it back on time for it to count. Or if they did, you had to be like really quick with it, like on the same day as opening it, send it back. But like, it is a shambles.
They started showing up in North America like that Wednesday or that Wednesday and that Thursday. So you're never going to be able to get it notarized and overseas in a day, you know?
But it's like, this is 21st century, man. Like, we need, even if it's not online, but just do something else. Like, just like
set the deadlines up so that the letters at least have a chance, you know?
yeah,
But
exactly.
we had this exact same conversation in 2018, and clearly, absolutely zero things changed. It's just embarrassing.
Well, it's not even like he wants to change it, because I'm not saying, don't get me
No
wrong,
incentive to change it.
even if we did have all the votes, Verandas is still winning.
No, here's the thing. I think if everyone actually got a say and it was more expanded, even just to Saucius, not even like hypothetical Saucius, I think it's probably like closer to like 65-35, 70-30. But he gets the overwhelming dub with the current, you know, organization. 85% is overwhelming dub. So 65% it's a dub. It's a nice dub, but it's not overwhelming in theory, I guess, right? I don't know.
Yeah. And like, I think whatever happens, I genuinely don't see it changing unless there's like an actual, like, there needs to be like some protest or something. But we're all in different countries that the games aren't broadcasting. What can we do? If we cancel Social's numbers, like, nothing's going to happen either, because they won't really care, because like it means nothing to them that we weren't voting anyway. I mean, it takes like €8 out of their pockets. Even so, a lot of people, I know a lot of people that just have the social for the online discount, which is fine. And like, you know, that's what we can use it for, because we don't get letters through the post sometimes. But like, we're paying for this and like not getting the full effect of it. And I think it's pretty stupid. But yeah, so Verandas clean sweep. I don't think anyone was expecting in this. What were your thoughts about his sort of like victory speech and like his comments afterwards and
I guess I'll just take this opportunity to talk about the VMOC thing right now, because this did get announced. Was it the same day? Was it the morning of?
The day before.
It was the day before.
The day before, yeah, right before.
Okay, it was the day before. And it was, so there's debt between two banks. It's Novo Banco and BCP. So it's just the BCP, which I think was like 70% of it was BCP. So it was the majority chunk of it. And it brings the SAD ownership to 84%. So, dude, good. It's definitely good. And if anyone actually cared about anything that I was saying before, like, one of the things that I said right at the end, and that I was kind of like was like in the debate, I'll give it on this credit for, because he was like, "There's a plan, just trust me, bro." Basically, and I was like, "What do you mean, bro? There's a plan, trust me." It's been 4 years. You haven't said anything. You haven't laid anything out. You don't even have a campaign. Like, if you did have a plan, all you would have simply had to do was just talk about it, and then the other two basically wouldn't even had any foothold whatsoever. Because like that was like a big part of their campaign. So I was like, okay, I guess bro, trust me. And I guess bro, trust me, right? He did have one, right? And he unveiled it the day before.
Which is very clever on his part, by the way.
Very clever. But then obviously come to find out, like, what gets reported the first day is never the final story, right? It obviously changes like one or two more times, and it's still going to change again. But I can tell you the evolution of how it's changed. So in 2018, they negotiated, or 2019, they negotiated the 30-cent discount from the €1 per share, right? They actually got it even discounted further to 17 cents. So they got an 83% discount, which is, I mean, the 70% discount was good already. And 83 is even better. But here's the thing. So then I was like, they said that they advanced the 38 million from the TV deal, the NOS deal, right? And obviously we talk about that NOS deal all the time. Where would we be without the NOS deal? It's almost like it's a meme at this point. It's the never-ending pot of money that you can advance. So they advanced 38 million, and then so then the discount, they get the 17% discount, or the 17-cent discount instead of 30. So it's 14 million instead of 38. So I'm like, oh wow. So they actually got an even bigger discount, and so instead of 38, they only advanced 14 from the NOS deal, right? No, they still advanced 38, but the other 24 or so, right, is going to pay unknown other debts with the bank. So I don't know what that is right now. No one knows. It's not announced. We might not never know. We might find out in 2 years. If we do, I'll let you guys know if it gets updated. But as we stand, as far as what's been made public, there's like an unaccounted for money in that advance that we don't know. So obviously it's good to get the discount. I'm assuming the further discount came because of that, agreement to just basically still pay them the rest anyways in another way. Obviously it's good, man. This was something we talked about the campaign season. Acquiring the majority of this ad and maintaining it is obviously like a priority. But the manner in which the deal is done, announced, and then like leaked and stuff is the same thing that we've criticized him for all along. So no one's wrong here, right? It's obviously good that he did it. It's just sus in the way that he laid it out and ended up doing it in the end. And here's the reason why he didn't. I was like, so I'm thinking to myself, right before we start, I'm like, why didn't he campaign? Or why didn't he say? Because on the announcement the day of, he didn't say the 17 cents. The 17-cent thing only came like a week after the election. So I was saying, why did he just let it go? Like, obviously the 30 cents was good, right? The 70% discount was good. But why didn't he just say that he even got a bigger discount and just to flex even harder? Because then he would have had to say that the other money was like getting floated to these other debts. And he just didn't even want to deal with that. So he just like, yep, 38, all going to them. VMOG purchase secured. Suck my dick, basically. And it worked.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I agree with pretty much everything you said. It was, well, I don't know if shady is the right word, but it's a bit slick, I guess, of him to do it like the day before. Even though, like I said it many times, he could have like killed a baby or something, and he still would have like won by miles. So
yeah, I mean, I don't even think he needed to pull the savagery, right? It was just kind of just to guarantee and to flex a little bit, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Which is fine, I guess. But I think the two things that stand out to me, like before he got elected, was I still maintain Slimani was an election thing. I know he's done well, but I still think it was like let me bring Slimani to, because everyone knows that Ruben Amorim didn't want him the first time, and then that was, I don't know if it was last summer, but before we won the title, we were linked to him and we didn't get him, and then in January we were linked to him again, we didn't get him. And it was
so is Slimani a Varandas guy now? Because Pulling is obviously a Varandas guy, right? Slimani, he's a mix. So what was he a Varandas guy now? Just what do you think about it?
I think genuinely Slimani's a money guy. Where the money goes, he'll follow. And like, I still remember the 2014 World Cup in Brazil when he scored and did the thing. I mean,
he wasn't kidding.
Yeah, it's fair enough. Like, he definitely deserves like the
he's
Leicester
a goal
move
scorer,
and
man.
Yeah, like I imagine
Algeria's leading scorer.
He probably got his best pay at Leicester, and which was probably crazy money because that was the year they just won the league.
Yeah, he was probably making like what, like $7 million a year or something like that,
Yeah, definitely. And he was still at Leicester. I think only last year they actually like released it from his contract, or his contract expired.
Yeah, no, they've been paying him good money for a long time.
But like even at Lyon, because he went on loan to
Monaco, Fenner.
And then Monaco was the last one he went to, and he tore it up, and that's what made Lyon splash out for him, because he was so good for Monaco that Lyon were just like, fuck it, he's done it in this league, we'll spend it here. And then it didn't turn out. I don't he didn't do too well there, but like he's doing well here so far. But like I
had
definitely
turbulent season, to be fair. Lyon, they're like in 7th in Ligue 1 in Ligue 1. That's why Porto really should turn that tie around. This is not the best Lyon team in the past years,
Yeah, definitely. But I just definitely think Slimani's like a money guy. There's no knock on him because,
it's his job, man. That's the point, right?
It's like I said a few seasons ago with Laurie when he was rumored to go to New York Red Bulls on.
He's a money guy too. But the thing is, it's like if Sporting's still covering your salary, if the money comes in, what does it matter? Don't you want to play?
Well, I mean, for him, it's like
get the money,
If it's a Laurie, then he's going to America for like a year just to literally like go on a holiday. Like he's probably gonna live out like a hotel or like some.
Bro, I can show around. There's a lot of stuff to do around New York City metro area, dude, and in the city.
He's at Vista now, and I don't think he's doing awful. Like, I'm not saying he's doing great.
Nice city, man. He's probably finding good entertainment, bro. He would have liked it over here, man. Yeah, he can still come. There's still time. He still has like 2 more years on his deal, so we're gonna need to keep dealing with him for like 2 more years. So
unless
still
you
happen.
do a termination or a mutual consent.
50%, yeah, bro. He's gonna generate a lot of future revenues on that 50%.
Well, I mean, I could just see him being loaned out for another 2 years, probably just like to another
We
like.
should just cut our losses. You're right. We should just rescind.
Yeah, we're not
But he
getting
likes
any
the
money.
bread, bro. He likes just.
Which is, I said at the time, like if you're going to offer him the contract, then like you can't be upset with him for
Same
not
with
wanting to take a pay
Renan. Same
cut.
with Eduardo. A lot of these guys still have a lot of years left.
The Renan one is funny because like he's not even in the team. I just see workout videos of him all the time, just like in this. I think it's like a villa or whatever.
He has not
a
played a
nice ass
competitive
house.
match in like 3 years, dude.
And like he's got a nice ass house. He's got
Dude,
nice
he's
cars.
2.4 million pre-tax. So he's 1.2 million take home. I mean, it's good money, man.
I can't believe that deal was signed. Like, all right, if he came from a club like a well-known club, and this is no disrespect to Estoril, but they were in the second division at the time, and we bought him up, and he was signed to a massive ass deal. Like, there wasn't a contract extension as far as I'm aware while he was here. He was just signed with that like base salary to start.
He was on loan, but we were kind of just giving those deals out at the time, and we've now realized you can't. Kamashu's another one.
Yeah, I think
expensive wages just lost in the loan cycle.
I did think that Sosa Sintra did more damage to the club in like a month that like really fucked over Varandas a lot. Like, because I know everyone loves.
He didn't do him any favors.
Yeah, everyone loves Nani and Montero. Montero was Bruno one, but like Nani was brought in and he was crazy wages. And like I as much as I hate to see him go, it's like you can't have someone on that much money to stay. Like he was on a lot. And like Freddie Montero, I didn't really rate the second time around, but he was on a lot as well. But like you're always going to be the villain for cutting the two fan favorites off the team. But I think it had to do. But I'm just going to ask you this question. Thoughts on Cristiano Ronaldo joining the club next season from JC in the chat? What are your thoughts?
He can still play, bro. Anyone that I mean, even in this most recent game that I just watched, like he can still play, dude. He really lacks quality around him, but I don't think he will. I think he's gonna try to keep it going. But the thing is, if Portugal doesn't qualify for the World Cup, it could change the calculus in our favor.
Yeah, so if you asked me this a year ago, I would have said, "Oh yeah, he's not coming back for another like 2-3 years." But the way Man United have been so awfully bad, and like I'm not sure if you follow them.
He's not going back there.
Yeah, he's definitely not. There's like drama in the dressing room. There's a leak, someone like leaking stuff out to the press, and like if you play for Man United, you're always going to be under that like sort of media press, especially the way they've been recently. But like
the red press, bro. They've kind of got the red press in England. I feel like.
Yeah, I think that is it. I think it's like Man United and I'm trying to think Liverpool. I guess are like the two most teams that get in the paper a lot. But I was thinking about this the other day, and I'm thinking about probability. I think Sporting are the odds-on favourite on all betting sites for his next club. By the way,
right now,
put it out there. Yeah, Gary Neville on Sky Sports 2 days ago said that he thinks that he should go back, or I think he said maybe he should go back and do the story there. But I'm thinking like if he leaves, America is off the table for obvious reasons, which we're not going to speak about here. But China is also off the table. I think he's not going to go there.
Chinese league's cooked now.
Yeah, they went bankrupt real quick. England, I think, is off the table. I don't think any team in England is taking him, or he wants to go to another English team.
Spain?
Italy, I think, is off the table. I think Real Madrid is on the table. I think a return there could happen. Mm-hmm. But like Barcelona, no, they've got. I think they have no rebuilding.
Bread. They're fucked. They're. If you think Sporting's financial management is bad, keep an eye on Barcelona because they're still like making their same types of signings that they were making before, but just everyone knows it's just loans.
But Barcelona now, they got a massive loan, didn't they? I think they got like a loan of 400 million. They're gonna have to pay back for like 50 years or something.
How are they How are they linked to Haaland, bro? It's like where is that money coming from?
But like. I literally the only team I can see him really going to. I don't see PSG because PSG want to get rid of Neymar.
PSG's getting blown up, bro.
The rumor is Neymar to go, and I don't. I think if
Neymar and
goes,
Messi are going to go back to Barcelona.
You reckon? But then Mbappe is also going to Real Madrid, I believe as well. I don't think he's staying in PSG.
I think Ronaldo and Mbappe can both go to Real Madrid.
Unless all three of them players go and they go somewhere else, and then Ronaldo comes into PSG and he's the main focus, which I can see happening. But I'm pretty sure Messi will be staying at PSG. And I don't think anyone can afford Neymar unless it's like a Man City or Real Madrid or even a Manchester United. But I don't think they take that. So Italy, I think he's not going back there either. Germany, Bayern Munich don't go for them type of players, and that's the only really possibility he could go to. So it's either he goes to Portugal or Spain for me, and France is like
he could join Mourinho's Roma, George Ben's club. He has an open invite, but he won't do it.
He hates Mourinho, doesn't he? He's not a big fan of him.
I don't think he would go for that, but it's obviously like on the table, you know.
I don't think he's going to Newcastle either. Dude, Richard with the very optimistic, because technically going to the MLS, but not. I don't even know how that would he be able to play like away games.
He doesn't have any active. The problem is he doesn't have any active warrants. But the thing is if he starts lingering around the country, they could start to build a case against him again.
Yeah, but
so he wouldn't get like swarmed by this cops like getting off the plane. Like he's free to go, but like if he could start pushing his luck basically if he was in the country.
Yeah, definitely. But like this comment here, like if he does come to Sporting, it depends on what wage he comes in. And I think Sporting was so like concerned about the wage the salary cap that apparently we have, or like the wage cap we have. But like we didn't want to sign Slimani. So like is Ronaldo coming for the wage cap? Is he getting a part of the club? Is he getting like a sponsor? Like I don't know how it's going to work.
He would have to be on like $5 million a year net, you know.
Unless he gets like a sponsor within the club. Like if we change the stadium to like the Cristiano Ronaldo stadium.
But whatever happened to Academia Cristiano Ronaldo? Whatever happened with that? Nothing. Like there's been no developments of that since.
He's not retiring either. So it's either like he goes. I'm trying to think. Is there any other like unless he goes to like Qatar?
We're selling him part of the SAD, bro.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, maybe he could buy the SAD.
We're selling him 10% of the SAD.
Is he going to Qatar? Is he going to Saudi? Is he going to one of them countries?
Those are honestly more in play because he goes out to Dubai for vacation. So he does flirt around out there, bro. It's more likely he goes out there than MLS for sure. But
Saudi and Qatar.
I still put Sporting at higher odds than doing that. Bro, he might even go to Sporting until he's so absolutely cooked that he can't play at all and still might go out there at like 42 for like an absolute joke of a farewell tour for like 10 to 20 mil a year out there.
The thing I'm worried about if he does come with you, again, is like a big if, is like the whole team.
The circus that comes with him?
That, and like, is he gonna like Paulinho like presses and whatever? I'm not saying Ronaldo isn't a good player, but like it's such a well knit group. Like someone.
Here's the thing, bro. Here's the counterpoint. Like, you think Slimani is just banging him in this because he's like familiar with the league, because the quality is a bit lower, just because thinking like. I feel like if Slimani can step in here and start banging him in, bro, Ronaldo would do the same.
I agree, but like with Amorim's sort of plan, like his project, if we sign Ronaldo, there's no more project, and that is just
what the Amorim project has. It has one more. I think it has another year for sure, but I mean, I don't see how the Amorim project is gonna be like a 3+ year project. I mean. That's just really hard to do with managers, man. He's either going to get too good or it's going to get fucked and he's going to get canned, right? That's how it always ends.
Yeah, not really a project then, but like the way of, like, do you know how they say like the Manchester way for like United, but like bringing up youngsters from the academy, like something we've all been begging to do for like 5 years. The club's always
worked like that. It's just maybe more accelerated in this timeline a little bit, for sure.
When Verandas first came in and Sousa Sincha, I remember one of the things that I hate about the most is Matheus Pereira was given away because Jose Peseiro picked Diaby over him in a game and Jovan. And it's like, that is one of the times that I'm not comparing him directly to Luis Diaz, but the way Matheus Pereira burst on the scene at the Championship and also in the Premier League, he was still a good player. Like, I know he's in Qatar or Saudi now, but like, he could have got us a lot of money. But like, I don't know. I feel like the first 2 years of Randers was like buy plays instead of go for the academy, because Bragança is, you have to remember, he's like, I think he's 23 now. He's been like, we've been clamoring to have him for like years. Giovanna as well, and like these players came out of nowhere really, but they came in straight into the first team, so they must have been good enough to play. Do you know what I mean? I feel like there was a time where especially George Jesus.
Well, there's more of a narrative that the academy is destroyed right now, but then as the players kind of started to churn out, and we had a coach that was willing to test them, the narrative just quickly changed. You never.
Yeah.
I mean, no one says the academy is broken anymore, because it obviously isn't, and I don't think it ever was.
Yeah, it wasn't broken. It just wasn't being used properly by management. Like,
to be honest, like as you can see right now, they are getting scraped. Like, I don't know how much is left right now. Like Van Du Felix, like I don't know if he's gonna be a first team player anytime soon. But the squad is deep enough right now. Also, I think there's like 16, 17, 15-year-olds that are there. But of the B team, the 23s, the guys that are like 21 plus, I don't know.
They're getting moved.
I don't know how much is there right now. And the guys that are out on loan, for example, like Bruno Page, like I don't think it's just ever gonna happen for him.
Yeah, he's
even if he's shown like, flashes, right? Like
he's 24 or 25 now. Like, there's got to be a point where you've got to be like, okay. We saw with that guy, what's it? Is it Felipe Chabi, who's like 27 and like just getting loaned out?
He's still on loan at Academica, who's gonna get relegated, unfortunately.
But yeah, like Juice said, we have the kid from Ghana, Rodrigo Ribeiro, the 16-year-old has been promoted.
The kid from Ghana is the golden goose, man. He hasn't even signed yet, technically, so we can't party until like June 1st or whatever when they officially sign him. But
yeah, and there's like Rodrigo Ribeiro.
He's been training. He's been training now.
There's a lot of good talent there, but like you said, it's
there's talent.
Under 23s is like,
I think
they're all like 21, 22, and then they're not going anywhere.
I think the goalie, the 16-year-old goalie that Amadou really likes,
Diego Calais.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be good too.
I think so. It just depends on. To be honest, right? I think instead of getting João Virginia, we should have just promoted him to second choice.
Yeah, well, that's actually one of the things I might have written down, just the random things that happened. João Virginia is not coming back. It's pretty much official. Right, Gordon saying it. So,
speaking of, if do you want to rattle off some of your loose ends that you have?
Yeah, just random stuff that happened over the last like 2 weeks, basically. If you are keeping track, the sleeve sponsor that appeared recently, Bitsy, the crypto marketplace, Sporting kind of abruptly cut their sponsorship with them due to like lack of payment. It said, I think they cut it with a couple teams. Wolverhampton was another team that had a sponsorship with them. I think a couple French teams. I think they all cut. A Formula One team too, I think. So kind of weird. Botafogo, who is now owned by, at least in part, by John Textor, has been sniffing around Tabata. I think the Brazilian window is still open until like April. So I think Tabata is going to get continually linked there for a couple more weeks at least. Yeah, I mean, that was one of the things Rick just mentioned in the comments. We were linked to Morita from Santa Clara. But then about a week later, they said it was dying down. And since Santa Clara had made a couple other sales, they didn't really need the money as much for Morita, like the $3.5 million. I'm guessing for like 50%, maybe a little bit more. We'll see. I definitely think it's an option potentially, and it's a legit rumor because I trust the sources here. I think that guy Pedro had it too, Sepulveda. So yeah, it's definitely legit. They're definitely linked. They're definitely looking at him. But I don't know if it's gonna happen. Depends on things shake out in the midfield. Otherwise, there was a very brief moment where we were linked to Svilar by CMTV rumor, but now it looks like he's going to Roma. I think his old sporting director is.
I don't even know if it was linked. It was literally just like Benfica are worried that they might be sniffing around. It's like, we're definitely not sniffing around.
2-year anniversary of Moreirense being signed. I already talked about the election. 2 Seleção games announced at Alvalade for 6-5 and 6-9. Again, very strategic announcement of that one after the election because obviously it was one of the talking points. Ladies could play at Alvalade more. Oh, the grass, etc. I mean, I'm happy the Seleção's coming, but that is not lost on me that it was announced shortly afterwards that we're playing Nations League's game against Switzerland and then Czech Republic 4 days later. The green chairs are all done now. RIP Rainbows, which I low-key kind of liked a little bit. I wish maybe a little bit was kept. But yeah, the green chairs, I can't deny it looks good. Matthias Reis won Defender of the Month for the league for the month of February, which was a good individual achievement for him. Ugarte, 10% more of his pass was activated for 2 million because he played against Moreirense. So we now own 60% of Ugarte, and we've paid 8.5 million. We talked about the VMOC. Apparently, Matheus Nunes is like really heavily linked to City. Sporting want 40 million, won't happen, but I guess it's good to ask for more. You can always come meet in the middle, right? It's better than the 20 that they were asking for in the winter.
Well, it's going to be like
the 18 plus 2. He was like linked to Everton for like 18 plus 2, and then the manager got sacked.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to City for like 30 million, and then like they're going to try and be like, oh yeah, you can have Porto for free now, even though it was 8.5. And Radis would be like,
so
okay,
yeah, there was an article that Varandas and Hugo Viana had lunch with the Sporting City director and CEO, and then a couple of days later it came out that they were talking about Matheus Nunes in this lunch. So,
we do have a partnership with City as well, don't we? Like, an official. So, like,
I don't even know if it's official, but it's a handshake agreement at least.
Yeah, so I mean, I could see us getting like that Yangel Herrera. I don't know if he's still actually at City, but like I know we were linked him in summer gone by. So I don't know if he'll be coming or anything like that. But like I feel like we're probably going to get another City player on loan, or I think City are linked with like Girona as well. So if we get a player from there, I don't know what's good. I think it's going to be like 30, 35 plus a player. Or if not, a lower fee for Pedro Porro.
Which is good. I mean, he raised his valuation in the second half of the season.
Probably put a sell on clause as well. I'll take
recently,
it.
To be honest.
Yeah, definitely.
Plata's old agent is suing Sporting for 500K. I guess he wants his money. He's owed 400K on the most recent Sporting balance sheet, so I guess he wants a little bit more interest. Guess we'll see what happens. It's just a new lawsuit. That's why I'm reporting it. There's obviously like a shit ton already active. Plata. Oh no, Porro, not Plata. Basically, we know Porro's a done deal. 8.5 million. City with the 20 million buyback clause. I've reported that multiple times now. No one cares about the tweet. Mark my words, the day that it is made official and it is officially said that he has a $20 million buyback clause, everyone will freak out. I'm telling you now, it's March. We know that they have a $20 million buyback clause. In November, it was originally reported. I know it's coming. Everyone's going to be act all pissed or whatever and surprised, but it's going to come. We know, right? So if you're listening to this,
they're not going to activate it anyway. I'm just saying that now. They've got Cancelo and they've got Walker and they've got all these good players. Porro doesn't get into their team, which is good for us. And even so, I think he's being sold. If we do buy it, I can see it being like, oh, he's bought. I'll be selling him straight away because one of the Spanish clubs have put.
Dude, I was reading comments on like a City post, and they were all like, immediately buy him back. And then sell him to Real Madrid for 40. I was like, you motherfuckers.
I could see that happening, to be fair.
I was like, fuck you guys. Why don't we just sell him to Real Madrid then, you fucking pussies? That's Alanaspor style, you know?
Yeah, it's not like City need more money. I'm pretty sure they're good on that.
Also, a long-lost friend of the show, Eduardo Enrique, has been a regular starter for Al Rayad this season. No goal contributions, but he has been a regular starter. They're interested in extending his loan for an additional season. His current loan does not have an option to buy. Unfortunately, can't even take advantage of this good moment here, but hopefully take care of his salary and get him off the books for another year. Shout out Eduardo. And yeah, the only other thing that I had on here was to make sure we talked about the sign ladies, which we talked about. And also viral tweets that are pissing me off. Have you seen the tweets recently that have been banging? These usually bang around Christmas time because it's like obviously like holidays, gift giving, etc. And it's like, if you don't know what to get me this. And then it's like a picture of like sporting merchandise.
Oh,
you seen those?
Yeah.
So you definitely see them around the holidays a lot. But for some reason, they've been like happening again, like a lot recently, the past week or two. And it's always the white sweatshirt, bro. And it's like, how is this tweet getting like 3,000 favorites, bro? Who are these 3,000 people that somehow at this late date don't know that this is an impossible to purchase item? Like, and then I see multiple of them, bro, with multiple thousands on each of them. It's like, who are these people, dude? I don't get it, dude. It's just like casuals, bro. Where are they coming from?
If someone has that hoodie and it's like not wants to impact you, they could sell that on for like an extra £100 or €100.
You wouldn't be able to tell though. I swear you'd be able to tell.
Yeah, exactly. But like, I would still be like, I'd have to think. I would probably be a no. But like, we said it before, they could have made so much more money if they just kept much further in stock. And also, it is at the time of recording. Well, it's live anyway. In my time, it's the 17th of March. Since the shirts were released in July, no UEFA patches and no is it Escudo patch? Just
I mean, let's be honest, guys. This is only going to be viable for a couple more months. So if you got a jersey to buy it, right? Barring miracle.
But like, they could have made so much more money if they just did that. And I don't understand. Like, there's no logical explanation because they do it in store. Because I've seen it and I've seen people get it in store. And it's like,
some things we'll never have an answer for, and that's one of the things.
But it's like, you think with like
sometimes people get mad at us for asking some of these questions because it's just easier to not ask these questions because they don't have answers. But I think it's
need to have like
asking them.
A journalist on like Sporting TV to ask the hard hitting questions. That should be one of them. Where is these white hoodies?
Employed by Sporting TV if he was going to ask some questions of the club.
Yeah, that's fair. But like, this is what I was
saying. I
saying.
do like the guy, Tiago, I think his name is.
Yeah.
I met him actually when he came to New York because he was doing a little bit. He actually filmed a bit of Nuno Gabriel, my friend of the show, when he was here in 2018 or 19.
That's cool. I think one of the old Sporting TV presenters, I don't know if he still does, he followed me on Twitter a while back because I remember Danny saying like he retweeted one of my tweets and I didn't really know who he was. But like, Danny sent it to me and was like, "Oh, this is the old Sporting TV presenter." I was like, "Oh, like that's cool, I guess." But like, I don't know. But I had like a conversation with it where it's gone. I can't remember exactly what I was going to say. But no, like, yeah, they've missed out on probably hundreds more euros or thousands more euros if they're actually in competition. Because like,
they made like over $1 million in merchandise sales.
The kits this year are nice enough for like a casual fan, not even a sporting fan, like a casual football fan, to see like the away shirt or the Strump shirt or even the kit you're wearing, to be like, yeah, that's a nice kit. I'm going to get this. Still, like, it's still not on like the UK Nike websites or like worldwide Nike websites, but they do have Galatasaray and like Sassuolo and all these shirts that are like Nike.
It's like, okay, it's obvious, right? It's March. We missed this year. It's like, what's being done to ensure that we maximize it next year, right? And I just think it's going to be the same thing again, probably.
And it's not like there's never been like the Champions League patch or Europa League patch to get. Because I remember I've got the shirt in my drawer somewhere. It's the 2017 shirt, and I remember customizing it. I was going to get the patches and everything, but I didn't go for it because it was like an extra 30 if you get both patches, and then the €30 delivery, so it could bring up to like €200. I was like, no. But I remember because the model at the time was Fabio Coentrao on the shirt, like modeling it, and I remember seeing the UCL patch. So I'm like, okay, so they definitely do offer it. Benfica offer UCL patches. Porto offer UCL and Europa League patches on their shirts as well.
So this was 17, 18, I'm guessing.
Yeah. No, that was it. Yeah, it was when I was I just come back from holiday in Portugal in August, and I was like, I really should have bought the shirt while I was there, but they didn't have any on my size in the, is it Sport Zone is what they call their like outlet? Yeah, they didn't have any in my size, and plus, like, I'm wearing the shirt now. The shirt sizes are all, like, you have to buy a size up, if not two, for some of the shirts, especially like the old Macron shirts. You have to go at least two sizes.
Yeah, Nike is definitely a size up. This is a large. I'm usually a medium. All the Nike kits this year size up for sure.
But
if you somehow don't already know that.
Next month I am buying. I've put money aside. I'm buying the away shirt and I'm buying the Strump. I'm hopefully getting them soon.
The Strump's on 50% off. I luckily feel like the Strump or the away is worth buying again, because I got a medium and it's low-key small, so I feel like I'm gonna want a large with a gold patch, you know.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it from that other website that I think you found it, which was like, I can't remember exactly what the link was.
Portugal, yeah.
Yeah, and they are real shirts, because I think Nuno Gabriel ordered them. I think it was Nuno anyway.
I've ordered it from here. That's where this came from. No, this is Danny's. This is actually from Loja Verde, Portugal. I traded with Danny. He has an XL that I bought from there and gave to Danny. So Danny's is from there.
Yeah, so I'm probably I'm gonna get names on the back, but I'm gonna keep it a secret of who it will be.
Oh.
But, yeah, I'll do a big reveal. But yeah, I'm gonna try and buy a size. Probably just gonna try and get the biggest size anyway, because I'm a big guy. I'm quite tall, quite round. So, you know, most of these tops don't fit. It's like very humbling, because like I have a Juventus shirt which is the same size as this, actually one size less than this shirt, and it fits fine. But this one is so tight that I have to keep moving it up because it's just absolutely sticking to my body. But
yeah, these jerseys do have a weird shape. The Champions League kits for Sporting. If you have if your body is tough or like different, like this jersey will not fit you. But it doesn't even fit me. It's like it literally has a women's cut to it. Honestly, it's like I don't know what's up with it. They all like curve out, but definitely size up if you're getting it. Maybe two even, but all the other ones at least one size up.
Yeah, I agree. And then I bought the training kits from Nike, and they fit fine, and they're like my size, like genuinely. But I think the training kits are literally just templates with the Sporting badge on anyway. So even if I went to like my Sports Direct and bought it from there, it would be the same.
Yeah, it'd be the same thing in theory. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm hopefully gonna get. I'm definitely getting the away shirt because I like it. I'm undecided on the Strump. I was either going to go for the Strump or the home, or maybe just not go for a second one at all. But like, to be honest, I might just get the away.
The away? People hate on the away. I don't mind.
I love it. I genuinely like. We've had a bad like record in it, but like at first I hated it. But when I was in Loja Verde, I went in and I saw it, and I was like, you know, I actually really like it. But they didn't have my size, unfortunately. But yeah, so I think definitely the away shirt, but I'm on the fence about getting another shirt because I got my bonus recently from work, so I'm like, you know, I'm gonna splash some of it. But I'm like, can I really afford to buy two shirts?
Yeah, especially because your bonus from work is probably just spent on the difference in gas, right?
Yeah, fucking. I filled up my tank 2 days ago, 80 quid, which like a month before was like I think 60 something, like before the war had started, like the Ukraine war had started. So anyway, I think that's all we've got. Have you got anything else?
We just run through some quick Modly Dad stuff.
Yes.
So the B team, they're gonna start their second round. They're in like the relegation round because the top four and will go to like the playoffs, and they're in like. So you keep the same points, but you just keep playing, and then the bottom two get relegated. So they haven't started it yet. They're gonna start it soon. U23 is same situation. They're in like the lower half, the Taça Revelação, which is just like teams that don't make it to the championship round. There's rumors of a Liga Revelação too. Not sure. Just don't finish in the bottom two and make it so that the U23 team is relegated to some bullshit league next year that's just starting up. Like, fuck that. Ladies, beat Braga in the league 2-0, but then lost to them 2-1 in the Taça da Liga semifinal. Doris Bacic, our keeper, had a pretty devastating error, like a pass back just like rolled under her foot. And that's how Braga scored one of their goals. But then we smacked Marítimo 5-0 in the Taça de Portugal. So we're in the Taça de Portugal semis, out of the Taça de Liga, and chasing in the league. Futsal won the Taça de Liga since our last. So that was like a while ago. That was like 3 weeks ago. We beat Benfica in the final 5-2, which is sick. And then we've won all 3 of our league games since then. Handball kept it interesting by losing their second to last European League game. So if they had just beat the last place team in their group, Ike Athens, then they would have been through, but they lost, so they left the decision to the last day. Then they ended up winning, so they're through. Fortunately, basketball lost today. They lost the first leg by 3, and then they lost in Turkey today to a Turkish team. Best sex here, old friends of the show and of the club. We lost by like 10. We were actually up in the third quarter. Ended up losing by like 10.
They had a few players I recognised as well. Sam Deco used to play for Houston. I saw. And I think there was another one I can't remember, but they had a few players. I was like, oh, I recognise.
They definitely have a bigger budget than us. We kept it close. I think Trevante got hurt, went out. I hope he's okay. I don't know how bad it is. But yeah, furthest a Portuguese team has ever made it. I think it's more than any of us expected us to get, further than any of us expected. So it was a good run, making it all the way to the quarterfinals. And then we've won our 2 league games since the pod as well. Hockey, we lost to Benfica in the Taça de Portugal 4-1, but we've also won our 2 other league games. Couple gold medals for Oriol Dungmo, the shot putter, who's really good. Went to the Olympics. George Fonseca won a gold. Patricia Mamona won a gold at their respective meets. Yeah, that's pretty much. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Oh, and also our UEFA Youth League game. It's supposed to be against Dynamo Kiev in Kiev. Obviously, that's not happening. I don't know what's going to end up happening with that game or if it's ever going to get played. But the semifinals are defined. Like 3 of the 4 teams in the semifinals are defined. And then just like our part of the bracket is just undefined yet because we still need to play. So we know we'll play Benfica if we win. And then if we beat Benfica, we'll play Juventus in the semifinal. But I hope. I don't know what the situation was with all of these Dynamo Kiev players even. It's been very ambiguous. It was rescheduled from March 9th to March 2nd to March 9th. And then when it was clear that it wasn't getting played on March 9th, it just is now in limbo. So I have no idea, but hope everything is good with all the players, obviously.
Yeah, most definitely. Just before we go, moving on to just the league table at the moment. So Porto are still ahead by 6. Sporting's next game, as like we said, it gets every 3 remains. Porto's next game is against Boavista away. So, I mean, definitely not like the hardest team, but I think Boavista away is definitely going to not be an easy challenge.
We've had success there in the past couple seasons, though. At the Bessa.
Well, I mean,
I'm looking harder.
Yeah, I'm looking at Porto's schedule, which is I think is much more difficult than us. So they got Boavista at home, Boavista away, Santa Clara at home, Guimarães away, Portimonense at home, Braga away, Benfica away, Vizela at home, and Estoril at home. So we pretty much got to hope they drop points to Braga and Benfica, and and then maybe like another point here or there. Because even if they do drop 3 points, they're ahead on goal difference because we've drawn both times. So I think it goes to goal difference after that, doesn't it? Because usually it goes like head to head, but since we've drawn both times.
But doesn't it do the away goals then? It does the away goals thing. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So what was the score?
For, I think, so the 2-2 was the one where they beat, they were at home. So we scored 2 away, and they scored 1 away at 1-1.
So I actually think we have the tiebreaker on them.
Is that how it works? Okay, I thought it went to goal difference. So yeah, okay. So they could drop 6 points, we could still win the league, but we just have to be perfect. Like I said, we've still got. I'm not saying we have an easy schedule compared to them, but like we still got Like we have to play an informed draw for Cent. We have to play Benfica. I mean, we've beat them twice already, but
if they draw, they need to draw 2 and lose 1, right?
Yeah.
Or draw 3.
Yeah.
Or lose 2.
So I think the most realistic one is to lose to Braga and Benfica, or at least maybe a point off Braga and then lose to Benfica. With Benfica playing quite well, and I know they drew to Gil Vicente, but like we said, they play well against Ajax and got through. So, and like they could get a team like Lille or Villarreal in the next round, and could go even further, or they could get a Man City, and who knows what will happen.
Atletico Madrid did not impress me either.
I feel like they never really do. I feel like
they just parked the bus against Man U, and Man U is not the greatest team.
They're an army of Conceição, like and Simeone, because they're just like they're pretty much tactics are based on like passion and like playing for the shirt more than like an aesthetic way of football. But like, I mean, that's fine. I do like Simeone as a manager, but that's because like he doesn't manage like a rival, which I feel like if like the same with Conceição, like if he wasn't a rival, I'd probably sort of like him, but because he's a Porto manager, it's got to be done. But I think we can wrap it up there. I think that's everything we've got. So Guimarães next week, next Saturday, and then international break until the next game is the 3rd of April. So we've got quite a big stretch of break there. Portugal play Italy, I believe. Is that correct? In the qualifiers? Or is it Turkey then Italy? I can't remember.
It's Turkey and then Italy. Winner of Italy, North Macedonia.
Okay. So, yeah. So, hopefully Portugal can make it through. If they do or they don't, we'll probably do maybe like a joint podcast with that one, just so we can wrap everything up. Just before we go, shout out to Mal. Hello, everyone. First time in the English version of Sporting160. I hope you're not the real Simal, but like we appreciate you. Thank you for your kind words. But yeah, that's the signing off from me and Chris. We should be back hopefully soon. Definitely will not be another 2-week break, hopefully, or 3-week break, however long it's been. But make sure to follow us on Twitter, Sporting160EN, and get all our latest updates there. Podcast times, breaking news, and rumors. Follow us on Instagram, Soundcloud, and Apple Podcast as well. But that's been it from me and Chris. Hope you have a good evening or good afternoon, wherever you are. Good morning if you're Jose in Australia. And peace.